This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Let me run our application. Yeah. So this is the output of our application from the last class. We have successfully pulled the data from the OData model. So you can see we have written this code in the component.js. So here we got the object of the OData model, and we got the object of the JSON model. And by using the OData model object.read method, we are reading the data from this slash employee set, which is nothing but this entire URL, and it returns the data. So this data we are collecting inside the JSON model. So EMP model is JSON model dot set data. So you are setting the data. And in the view, so you can see in the view, the table items binding is pointing to the JSON model. So if you open your manifest.json, so if you open your manifest.json, you created a EMP model, so which is of type JSON model. Okay. So you are binding your items to the JSON model arrow mark slash the array name, and similarly you are binding the same in the below properties. All right. So in today's class, we are going to take one real-time example where the client has asked to keep a serial number column along with these two columns. Okay. All right. Now you need to pay attention, guys. This requirement. So those who are little bit programming knowledge definitely will understand, and non-programming, complete non-programming background. So you need to pay full attention. Okay. So we use the JSON model whenever you want to process the data, for example, adding extra columns or some complex processing on the data if you have. So you will do this processing on the JSON data that you got uh, inside this success function. Okay. So before you set this data to the JSON model, you can do any processing on this data. Got my point? So whatever the processing that you want to do on this data, you do it, and then you insert this data into the JSON model. So this is what exactly we need to do even for this requirement. Okay. Now let us think how to achieve this requirement. How to achieve this one. My dear friends, for example, here we have employee ID, employee name. So these two values are coming from the back end. So we binded it here and we got the data. Let's assume, just assume, in case along with this employee ID, along with this name, along with all these fields, let's just assume that there is a field called serial number, which is also coming from the backend. Okay. So that means, so let me open the notepad. Yeah. So this is your JSON data, which you are getting it from the backend, and this is what you are getting inside the success function, correct? Inside the success function, if you debug and see what exactly we have in this data. So you have this one, right? You have a results array, and inside the results array, you have this employee one, employee two. Now, what my point is, let's assume if you have something like this, serial number colon one, okay, serial number two. So if you have something like this, and in the UI, in this particular UI, if you add an extra column called serial number, and if you put it here, the text UI element, text equals to yes and o serial number. Okay, so let's assume this is yes and o n capital. Okay, like this. Don't you get the serial number? Yes, you will get the serial number. Yes or no? Will you agree with me or not? So what my point is, from the backend you are getting this employee ID, name, name. So this is the first record. This is the second record. Now my point is, in case along with these all fields, all the properties, if you have a property called serial number, any property name, okay, some name colon the serial number one, and then again serial number colon two, and then if you have further records, serial number three, serial number four, something like that. And in the view, if I simply do this binding of this extra column and extra text, do I get the serial number or not? Yes, I will get. Agreed? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will get this particular serial number as well. Okay, so as of now, when I add this extra column and when I add this particular text, I'm getting a column but no values here, because in my results array, this is missing. In my results array, this is missing. This is not there. So since it is not there, the value is blank. Column is added. Okay. Column is added, but there are no values. Now how to add this particular value? Now this is where your array, looping the array will come into picture. We know that the data that we got from the backend, so this particular DATA data has an array, and the array name is results. You need to go through the little bit of basic programming of an array, okay, how to loop an array. So what we do is we loop this array with its index position. We know that within the array, the first record is present in the 0th index, and the second record is present in the index 1, third record is present in the index 2, and so on. Array can contain any number of records. Array follows the indexing mechanism. 0 being the first record. Okay, so sorry, 0 is the index. Index 0 is the first record. Index 1 contains the second record, and so on. Now I am going to loop this array. I will show you in the debug mode. So hit F12, go to sources, and let's keep the debug point here. Now let us refresh this application so that the debug point gets triggered. Yeah, the debug point got triggered. We don't require the debug point here. So let's continue. Now the debug point has stopped at the line number 41. Now let me copy this DATA data, copy this, paste it here. Now I can see that the data contains an array called results. So you can clearly see that results is an array, and it is saying that this array contains two records. The first record is in the index 0, and this is all its values. and this is index 1, and this is all its values. Now in these values there is no serial number. Now what I am going to do is I am going to loop this array, and I will point out to the first record, that is index 0. I will point out to this particular record, and I will insert one extra field called serial number colon its value 1. So I'm going to do that. And I will insert in the second record as well. So let us see in the debug mode how I can insert it. Okay. Actually, I need to write a loop. As of now, since there are only two records, without the loop also I can write. But normally we need to write the loop. In the coding, I will write the loop here. Here I will write the loop. Since I am in the debug mode, so writing the loop is a little difficult here. So let us directly use the indexes one by one. Now I am going pointing to the data, so which is this variable. Now inside this variable there is a results array. So let us point dot results. So it will automatically give the suggestion here. Data dot results, which is the array. Now results is an array, so I can point out to the 0th index results of 0. Now what results of 0 is pointing to? Results of 0 is pointing to this particular record. Results of 0 is pointing to this record. You can see the values here. So results of 0 means it is the Rahul's record. Now in this record, I am going to insert an extra field called serial number. So write dot serial number equals to 1. What I did? Results of 0 means in the first record dot serial number. So whenever you write dot and then some field name, first what it does, it checks is this field exist in this record. No, this field does not exist. So it creates an extra field in this record and it assigns the value 1. For example, if you take designation DESIG equals to, now it checks this field exists or not. Yes, this field exists. So it updates this value. For example, so let me write designation equal to, instead of developer, if I say senior developer. What I said senior developer, right? So when I say senior developer, it will change to senior developer. Okay, now let us print data. Now we can see it is results, and Rahul is a senior developer. Actually, Rahul is a developer. How this developer changed to senior developer? Because of this statement. Data dot results of 0 means in the 0th index of this array. So 0th index means this one. So we have this Rahul's record dot designation. So it will take this field and assign the senior developer as a value to this particular field. Now similar to this, my dear friends, if I write serial number equals to 1, now do you know what happens? First it checks, is this field yes and no serial number exists? No, it does not exist. So it creates a new field and it assigns this serial number 1. Okay, so let's hit enter. Now similarly, let me do this for the second record as well. So results of 1, 1 means second record, and let us assign the serial number 2. Getting my point? Data dot results is the array. Results of 1, 1 means index 1. So in the array, so this is the 0th index and this is the index 1. So in the index 1 we have this record. So along with these values, I am telling to insert the serial number 2. Now let us print the data again. So now we have the two records again, but now In both of these records, you can see there is a serial number 1, serial number 2. So this field we successfully inserted in this data. We have successfully inserted this in the data. Now if I continue the execution, since this data already contains the serial number values and you are setting that into the JSON model, now let us see the output. Does it got refreshed? Now, one second. So we have inserted it. Where is this? Yeah, serial number, we got it. Yes, NO, yes, capital, N capital. So let me see what I have written here. Yes, NO, okay. So I did not give this EMP model arrow mark, and that's the reason it is not coming. So we need to give point out to the JSON model name as well. Right. So let me do this again. Yeah, so the debug has stopped here. So let me go to the console area. So print the data. So data has 2 records and it does not have the serial number. Okay. So now what we are going to do? So we are going to insert it. So data dot results of 0 dot serial number 1 and again data dot results of 1 dot serial number 2. Now I inserted this serial number field in the 0th record and in the record 1. So if I print this data now, so again I have the results. So with the Rahul's record with serial number 1 and Venki's record with serial number 2. Okay, right. So now after inserting the serial number field in this data that is coming from the backend, now I am inserting this in the JSON model. So I continued the execution. Now you can see the serial number 1, serial number 2, both are coming. Got my point? So this is how you can process the data. Okay. So now let us write the actual code. So we have written this code in this console area, and that too we did not loop this array. See, the array can contain 100 records. Will you write data dot results of 0, 0 dot serial number 1, data dot results of 1 dot serial number 2 like that? No. You have to loop this array with the index. Okay. So now I am going to write it. So this is where the basic programming is required, guys. That is why I say the prerequisite can be any programming language, because any programming language contains the loopings, if conditions, all these things. Okay. All right. So let me remove this. The loop that we use in this JavaScript is called for loop. So for loop is present in C, Java as well. Even those people who know about programming language, they can also correlate. For variable I equal to 0, that means start with the 0th index, I less than my data dot results array, results, which is an array dot length. So which means start from the 0th index and continue this loop till this I value is less than the length of the array. So let's say the length of the array is 5. Then this loop continues till the I value becomes 4. Obviously, correct? When the length of the array is 5, what is the last index of the array? 4, because the array index starts from 0. Okay, so that is why we need to say I must be less than the length of the array, and then I plus plus means increment this index by 1. I plus plus means increment the index I by 1 for every iteration. So every time the for loop works like this. It checks the I value. It checks this condition whether this I is less than the length of the array or not. If it is less than, it go inside this for loop, execute whatever the logic that you are writing here. And when the closing brace is encountered, it again go to this I plus plus. It increments the I by 1 and then again it checks this condition. Is the I less than the length of the array or not? So like that, it loops the statements that you have written inside. So now what I'm going to do, I'm writing data dot results of I. I'm not saying 0, I'm not saying 1. I'm saying I. I means, so initially I is 0 and I will be incremented by 1 in every iteration. Okay. So you can assume I is 0. So data dot results of 0 in the 0th index dot serial number equals to. Now tell me, what should I write here? Shall I write 1 here? Can anybody
We
tell me
should
what
write
should I write at the right hand side? Huh?
I plus
You
1.
have to write I.
Exactly. I I plus 1. Okay. That's the correct answer by Sushma, I guess. So this is I plus 1. I is 0. I is 0. So for the first serial number, you want 1. So you can use I plus 1. I is 0, 0 plus 1, 1. So when the loop gets iterated, I becomes I plus plus, means I becomes from 0, it becomes 1. So in the second iteration, 1 plus 1, 2. So like this, automatically you are assigning the 1, 2, 3, 4. So the serial numbers you are assigning within this for loop. So that's all. Now let us see whether it is working or not. Let's refresh. Oh, it is taking time. Let's run this again. It's taking time. So let me preview application and index.html. Yeah, it's coming. That's right. So it will be little slow. Any problem or there is no problem. No error found. Then why it is not coming? mp model dot set data. The loop is over. Data dot results dot length I plus plus I plus 1. Everything is correct. Yeah, it has come. So basically, it has taken some time. That's all. There is nothing problem from our side. So like this, whenever you want the data to be processed first and then appear on the screen, then in all those situations, you can go for JSON model, my dear friends. Okay. So similarly, I can also make this Rahul to Mr. Rahul. I can make this Venki to Mr. Venki. Okay. So all these kind of things you can do. For example, let me show you how to do this. Data dot results of I in the ith row. So whatever you have dot name, right? So for the name, what you need to do is append Mr. and then concatenate this Mr. with the same name. So in the ith record, whatever the name is there, so you are taking that name to this particular name, you are appending Mr. in the front, and then again you are saving this entire Mr. Venki Again, you are saving this in a name field only. Okay, so the name gets updated with Mr. Venki. Okay, so you can see this is Mr. and then Rahul, Mr. Venki. So like this, you can just play around here. You can process the data as the way you want. Simple thing, you pulled out the data and stored it in the front end. So once you store it in the front end, you can just play with the data as the way you want. See, we got Mr. Rahul and Mr. Venki. Okay, however, this is not a correct requirement. So normally you don't get such requirement, but I'm just telling you. So you have this data in your hand. So once you have the data in your hand, you can just play with it. Whatever you want to calculate the total, you do it. Okay, so whatever you want to do, you can do anything and everything. Right. Fine. So now the next thing is let us add all the columns. So we have not added all the columns because I just want you to concentrate on concept first. So since you understand the concept now, let us add all the columns. So we have added employee ID name. Let us add designation, skill, email ID, phone number, all these here. I'm going to add the column first. Employee ID, name, and then let's add designation, then skill, then email ID, and this is phone number. And what else, guys? So what else we have? We have let us see, phone, then salary. We have salary, date of joining. Phone is over. Then this is salary, and this is date of joining. So let me write date of joining. And what else? Date of joining, then rating and status. Rating and then status. So we have added all the columns. Now you also need to add this uh, text UI elements as well. So totally we have 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you exclude this serial number, that means we have only 8 because serial number is actually not part of the backend. So we have 8 and let me remove this. All right. Employee ID name, then let's copy this designation. You can paste it here. And then we have the skill, copy it and paste it here. Then we have this email, copy it and paste it here. And then we have the phone number, again copy and paste it here. After that phone number, we have salary, then we have date of joining, and then we have the rating and status. So this is the rating and this is the last one is status. All right, now let us see how our table looks in the output window. It's loading. Yeah, so this is our complete data, and you can see that this table became congested just because of this email ID is lengthy, and even this date of joining is lengthy. You can see the date of joining coming in a very lengthy format like Monday. Uh, this is Jan 22nd is the date of joining. Yeah, we have given Jan 22nd as the date of joining. And this GMT 5:30 Indian Standard Time. So that is something which you will get in a whenever you display a date of joining. So we can also format this. You can see that we developed the application, and in the application it is not showing all this nonsense. It is just showing the date of joining like a dd hyphen mm hyphen yy yy. So even We can also achieve that. That is our future coming classes. Don't worry on that. So you can see this table is showing the date in a very nice dd hyphen mm hyphen YY format, but whereas you are getting this in a very lengthy format. And another thing, if you observe, this table is having the scroll bar. It is having a nice scroll bar, but this table does not have the scroll bar. Now we are going to add the scroll bar to our table. So how to add the scroll bar to the table? To add the scroll bar to the table, what you need to do is you need to keep your table inside a scroll container. Okay, so there is a scroll container. So just cut this ending tag and keep this ending tag after your table. Okay. So in simple words, you need to keep your table inside the scroll container. That's all. So this is what exactly I have done. This is our table UI element, and the scroll container ended after the table UI element. And you can see this is our table element started and the scroll container even before started. So simply you kept your table, you kept this table inside the scroll container. Okay, story has not ended. The scroll container has properties like uh, vertical, so you need to give true, and then we have horizontal, so we need to give true. So what is this vertical and horizontal? So vertical and horizontal are the scroll bars. Okay, so do you want a vertical scroll bar or not? You need to say true. Do you want horizontal scroll bar or not? You need to say true. Then only you will get the vertical and horizontal scroll bars. Normally, when the data is very less, you will not get vertical scroll bar. Vertical scroll bar you will get only when you have some 100 records, 200 records, like that, then you will get the vertical scroll bar. But horizontal scroll bar you will get when you have more number of columns. When you have more number of columns, you will get the horizontal scroll bar. Vertical scroll bar you will get when you have more number of rows. So even we have the vertical scroll bar here because we have some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records, 6 records like that. Okay, so here we have only 2 records, so you will not get the vertical scroll bar anyway. Fine. After adding these two properties, vertical true and horizontal true, so even now you will not get this horizontal or vertical scroll bar, because if you want to get this scroll bars, there is one more additional requirement, additional prerequisite, and that is you need to allocate some width for each and every column. You need to allocate some specific width to each and every column. So let me do that. So width equal to 10 rem. So rem is the measurement for table columns, guys. So I will tell you one trick. Just give for all the columns 10 rem. Okay, copy that and put it same number for all the columns first. Give 10 rem for all the columns. So this is the trick that we follow in the real time. So now you have given the width called 10 rem for all the columns. And after that, what you need to decide is which column really need extra width and which column does not need the extra width. So this is what you need to decide one by one. Now serial number really does not take 10 rem, right? So it just needs very small width. So you can give some 3 or 4, something like that. So this is a trial and error, guys. You need to give some width and then look at your output and then change it. There is no fixed concept here like for serial number you need to give this much width only. No, you need to keep on changing these numbers and then look at your output, and if you are fine, then keep it. Okay, right. So I'm giving 5 REM for this serial number. You can still decrease it to 3 REM as well, 3 or 4 REM as well. Okay. Next, employee ID. So I'm just keeping 10 REM as it is. Name 10 REM as it is. The designation also I'm not changing. Email ID. This may require a little bit more. So let us give some uh, 15 REM. So phone number is fine, salary is fine. Date of joining, so may require extra. So because this is the very lengthiest value that we got, so you can even give 20 REM. Rating is just a single number, so we don't require much. So I'm giving 4 REM, and status 10 REM. Okay. So like this, you just need to first keep all 10 REMs and then change basing on the extra, basing on the column, you just adjust it. And even these values are not final, guys. These values are also not final. You need to check the output and then decide. Now you can see we got a nice horizontal scroll bar. Okay, so remember we get the horizontal scroll bar only when you give these column widths. If you do not give the column weights, the table always try to adjust within that screen without the scroll bar. It just gives equal width for all the columns, and you will never ever get the horizontal scroll bar. So if you want the horizontal scroll bar, so you need to do two things. One is keep your table inside the scroll container. And second, keep these two properties, vertical scroll bar true, horizontal scroll bar true. And then you need to provide the width for all the columns. Okay, so normally what I do is I keep 10 REM for all the columns, and then I will decide which column needs extra width and which column needs less width. Okay, right. So we are getting a nice output actually. Still, this data joining is wrapping to the two lines, but that's okay because anyway we are going to convert this data joining into this nice dd hyphen mm hyphen yy in the tomorrow's class. Okay. All right, guys. So this is how you need to display the table
Rizwan sir,
with a
one
nice
question.
scroll bar. Yeah.
So the sequencing of column is depend on us, like how we write it in a view. It will come like
Yeah,
that.
normally the sequence will be given by the clients. Okay, clients will give you like I want this column like that. So you just need to follow in your table code.
So
Okay,
here
when you
only
are
we can
writing.
sequence it.
Yeah, so just
instead of
keep if
instead
I
of backend.
so if I keep this here, then it comes in the second column, and you also need to take care of this sequence. So always remember the column sequence and the value sequence. So both must be in the same
Same, same
same.
order.
Okay, otherwise you will get one value for the other.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. All right. So today we have successfully seen the topic, and that is how can you process the data on the JSON model. Okay, we brought the data from the backend, but in the backend data we do not have the serial number value, but still we have added that serial number value in the front end. So these kind of requirements are quite common in the real time, guys. Okay, the clients may ask you to display some total salary. For example, you want to sum this one, and you want to display maybe above the table or below the table. So you can do it. You just need to loop this records and sum this salary value. Okay, sum equal to sum plus data dot results of I dot salary. Correct. So you have written some, 1 to 10 sum of n numbers in your C, Java, C++, all these programming languages, right? Okay, if you are not from computer science background, at least you would have written this sum of n numbers in the C language, correct? That is why the basics of programming language are always important. Okay. So normally we think like, let's complete the BTech first, Bachelor of Engineering first, and then we'll take some course and then, we'll get into job. So these things will not work out actually. For some people, it has worked as well because they realize the importance of these languages after their Bachelor of Engineering. Uh, anyway, so everything goes to the basics. Always remember, any new concept that you are learning will always dependent on some old concepts. Okay. So that's all for today. In tomorrow's class, what we are going to do is we are going to beautify this table with various things. The rating is displayed like 4 and 3. We are going to replace this rating with stars, and the status is displayed permanent and contract. I'm going to change the permanent color with green color and contract with a red color. Okay, and even I'm going to change the color for the skill. So since SAP UI5 is a hot skill, so we will display this with a red color, and ABAP is a evergreen color, sorry, evergreen codes, evergreen skill. So we'll display the ABAP with a green color like this. So here I displayed ABAP with an orange color, but anyway, so we'll display this ABAP with a green color and SAP UI5 with a red color, and we'll change the date of joining to a nice DD-MM-YYYY format, and we are also going to change this rating. We replace the rating with a star with star indicator, and the status will be permanent will be in green color, contract will be in red color. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave for today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So fine then. We'll meet in tomorrow's class. Have a nice day. Bye bye.